Now let's turn to the vehicle routing problem. Now the vehicle routing problem, or VRP, is very similar to the traveling salesman problem. For the TSP, remember what we're looking for is to start from one node and go to every single other node in one big tour. That assumes that you have one vehicle and you have enough time to make that whole tour to all the destinations. In real life, that probably won't happen. Your vehicle might not have capacity for all the deliveries in a day. There might not be enough time in the day or that time period to actually be able to do all those deliveries. So you might need to use multiple vehicles. So the VRP problem is to find the minimum cost tours from a single origin to multiple destinations, each with varying demand, using multiple capacitated vehicles. So the vehicles have a capacity, each demand node has a certain demand that it needs, and I want to find different tours, and I can use multiple vehicles. So there's heuristics and then optimal approaches. Let's start with the heuristics. You can divide those into two big categories: route first, cluster second, and then cluster first, route second. Let's start with the first one. So what do we mean when we say we route first and then cluster second? Well, looking at this little diagram, this is the example we'll do in a second, I could start with any traveling salesman solution. And so that's the route first. So first I find the whole route, and then I'm going to cluster the nodes that fit together, sequential nodes that fit up to the capacity of my vehicle. So I've routed, then I've clustered, and then what I'm going to do is essentially treat each of those as a little traveling salesman problem. Now what we're going to focus on is the second category, cluster first, route second. And we're going to do two different algorithms here. And so essentially here what you do is first you see which nodes does it make sense to pair together. And then once I have those clusters formed, I look for the route within each one of the clusters. I solve a little traveling salesman problem. So we'll do two algorithms here, the sweep algorithm and then the savings or the Clark-Wright algorithm. And then we'll show how those compare. We'll also show really quickly at the end the optimal way of doing this using a mixed integer linear program. And we'll compare and contrast when is it better to use heuristics versus this optimal method.